welcome. This session is going to be hopefully no more than half an hour. I just want to share with you some of my kind of thoughts and ideas. Oh, hi there. Thank you for joining. That's right. I was about to say, please feel free to put in the comments, say hello. I'd love to know who's out there and who's watching. And secondly, please do pop any questions you've got, anything that may be a reason you've been drawn here today, anything that really is your barrier, your stumbling block to your marketing, to creating content. I'm going to run through kind of 6 areas that I want to share with you. I'm going to tell you about what you can stop doing, what you can get rid of, and also what I recommend you start doing, especially ready for 2023, so that you can feel really on top of your marketing. So, just check I'm not missing any comments. Brilliant. Right, so as I say, please feel free, if you are watching this on replay, please stick in a hashtag replay so that I can see it. And again, I'm very happy to answer questions afterwards. So please, as I say, put in your questions into the comments as you're watching on replay, and I will get back to you. Okay, so you're here because you want to make your content marketing simpler. You've got probably lots of ideas. You probably feel like you're constantly bombarded with the I must do this and I should do that. Oh, hi Claire. And I want to say, right, let's sort of take a step back for half an hour on the 1st of December. Let's take a little step back and say, well, hang on a minute. What, do we need to achieve? And more importantly, like, why are we trying to achieve what we want to achieve? So my first tip today is to say, stop trying to be everywhere and do everything. I think it's really, really tempting now, especially at kind of, at free at point of use. Things like social media, even things like having access to MailChimp to do emails. You feel like, well, it's all there. Everyone else seems to be doing it. All the big brands seem to be able to manage it. Why can't I? I should be everywhere. I should be on all the different platforms. I should be doing all the different things. I should be talking. I should be doing videos. I should be doing podcasts. Lots and lots of things. Hi, Louise. So just stop that mentality. And what I want you to do today, and it can literally be on a post-it note, is write down your minimum content commitment. And what this is literally just sort of identifying what do you feel that you could do that's going to reduce the overwhelm, but it's going to maintain that visibility and awareness that you're out there. So it can, as I say, just be on a post-it note that literally says, I'm going to commit to posting twice a week on Instagram. Now, this isn't to say that you won't post 3 times a week. It isn't to say that you're going to post twice, but you're also going to share a story and you might dip your toe into creating a reel. But what it's saying is when everything is going a bit crazy, the lead up to Christmas being a perfect example, you know that it's okay, I'm going to get my 2 posts a week done, and that's my minimum content commitment. It's enough to make me visible. I feel happy, I feel good, and anything else is a bonus. What a lot of people do is they try to commit to doing too much. They do it 1 week or 1 month or for a couple of months, and then it all falls by the wayside. And it just is really, really demotivating. So as I say, put down that minimum content commitment. You might want to start by writing, well, what on average am I doing right now? And then, as I say, saying, well, hang on a minute, if I did 1 less post a week, or if I dropped my blogging from once a week to maybe every other week, or even once a month, how will that affect me? And will that affect my, my traffic? Will that affect my reach? Will that affect my sales? Now, obviously, if it is, hi Joe, if it is affecting sales and marketing, then you might have to go up again. But wouldn't it be lovely to perhaps start reducing the amount of marketing or content you're doing, but not see any effect on sales? And that can happen, especially if you're sort of carefully monitoring what you're doing. So as I say, create this minimum content commitment, stick to it, and then measure it. And what I've even found with some people who've been very nervous about dropping down to say more like 3 posts a week rather than 5, for example, is it's amazing how, first of all, their content quality goes up because they're trying to produce less. There is no effect on reach or engagement. Sometimes it can actually go up, and we can even nibble away maybe at a little bit more and reducing something else. Similarly, consider all the platforms you're on. If you're just cross-posting, if things aren't working on certain platforms, stop beating yourself up. you don't need to be everywhere. So that follows on to my third stop focusing on the platform itself. So work out what content you need. So as I've just said, people feel like they need to be on all the platforms, and then they often end up either, you know, ideally you're cross-posting quite a lot, or you are creating individual bits of content for different platforms. Now, I say to you, let's make it simple. So turn on its head. A platform is just a platform. It's a place to distribute your content. So start thinking about your content first. And this is really great for planning in advance. So let's take an example. You create a short 1-minute video. That's the content. That's what you're focusing on. You create that video, and you're going to take it and you're going to upload it to your YouTube channel, because you do have a YouTube channel, and you're going to write a really strong search engine optimized description about it. You're then going to take that video, and it's quite long, so you're going to cut it down into smaller sections, sort of like little tips, and you can recreate those as reels, or you could put them up as little Facebook videos, whatever it might be. You also take that video and you embed it into your website, and you turn it into a blog post where you're going to write underneath pretty much the content that you've shared, and you're basically giving people the option to consume that content as a video, or they can read the content below. Could even just be a straight transcription. And finally, you're also going to embed that video into your upcoming email that you're sending out. Now, suddenly you're still doing lots and lots of marketing, but you focused it around one piece of content. And even better than that, when you start focusing on the content rather than the platform, it's so much easier to plan in advance, to reuse and repurpose lots of stuff, and get so much out of just one piece. Whereas if you're thinking, I need to create stuff for Instagram, I need to create stuff for YouTube, I need to write a blog, I need to send out an email, suddenly that becomes really overwhelming. So give me a thumbs up, or give me a yes, that sounds like makes sense if you're following so far. Okay, next, my third stop. Are you loving this? You can delete stuff off your to-do list. Stop only marketing to new customers. Now, this is an absolute classic. We all know that even the big brands, the banks, are a classic. Oh, thanks, that's brilliant, good to hear. Basically, we all know that they do all these amazing incentives to get new customers, suddenly cashback offers, whatever it might be. And then I realise, you know, you as the current customer is thinking, well, hang on a minute, why aren't I getting that great deal or that great offer? So we all know how that feels. And yet so many of us as small businesses, we focus on the new people. We focus on those that maybe don't know us very well, those kind of cool leads, i.e. we put out lots of mass marketing. We put out social media posts, we kind of send our email to everybody that's on our list, and that's where we focused a lot of time and energy. Now, I've had clients that have done that, and we've talked about that, and they say they feel really overwhelmed, they feel like they've committed to too much with their social media, and then say the immortal line or something along the lines of, and someone got in touch with me last week about wanting to buy X or, you know, use a service, and I still haven't got back to them. And you think, oh no, like, you've really got to think about your priorities. Who should you be focusing on then in that instant? Is that 5th, 6th story or Instagram post of the week more important than that email back to somebody? Similarly, that kind of marketing that really does speak to your leads and your past customers. So sending, you know, specific emails. So for example, if somebody inquired with you, you did send them the follow-up, but you've not heard back. Why don't you think about what kind of thing you could send them to maybe re-engage them? Equally, sending everything to everyone on an email. Could you look at your list and segment it down? People who've bought from you before. If you have a product-based business, could you do a kind of, you know, I don't know, loyal customers only discount or whatever it might be? But stop focusing, as I say, primarily or only on your new and your, you know, your clients that are out there but they haven't bought from you yet. You want to focus a bit more on making sure that you're definitely balancing your time on those people that have already worked with you. Even if it doesn't have to be automated, it doesn't have to be technical. It can literally just be a list of people that you commit to getting back in touch with to see whether they were happy with your product, as I say, whether they do want to work with you, you after an initial inquiry. Those people are so much easier to convert than, as I say, that mass audience that you're trying to reach with an algorithm on a certain social media platform that you're fighting with. So as I say, stop just focusing on the new and the mass and start thinking about, well, what can you do to really work again with your loyal customers, and use marketing to do that. And similarly, what sort of marketing can you do that's going to really appeal to them? So we've talked about sort of some kind of video. Well, could you be talking a bit more about your services and how they've developed or changed, or what the kind of next step is for them if they've bought or used one type of service? What kind of naturally would be the natural sort of step on the pathway? So as I say, stop focusing on just your mass and your new, your social media generally, and start thinking about what you can be doing to draw in those clients who are actually looking for you. And actually, I just want to make one final little point about websites. Now, obviously, a lot of you will know about search engine optimization. Now, when somebody goes onto Google or whichever search engine and they type in a keyword or a question related to your business, those people are looking for you. They're looking for that type of business. So again, how much time and energy are you spending on your website? Making sure that you are found by those people who are actively looking to buy from someone. Why not you? You know, it's another area of your marketing that you shouldn't be forgetting. It's another really key platform that a lot of people, understandably, have it created, make it look pretty, especially if you have a service-based business. You know, you might not have products that you're updating. So then you just leave it to gather dust because it's doing the job. But actually, you could be missing those key people, as I say, that are actually looking for you, that are actually almost like a warm audience. So stop focusing on those new randoms and start focusing on people maybe that are right there in front of your nose, and making the time within your marketing, even if that means cutting down a little bit on your mass and your marketing for your new customers, to really make a difference. And I'm sure you'll see those conversion rates go up, which will be a really nice feeling. Now, I've said 3 stops. I'm going to go on to some starts. I'm sorry, this is where you do have to do a bit of work, but hopefully it'll still reduce any overwhelm and make your marketing feel a lot simpler. Before I do that, I've just realised I've got a question in the comments. So it says about struggling with the technical side of the video, so recording, chopping, etc. So just to answer that, if you do, there's a couple of ways of recording a video. Obviously, you can do it live. You could do it on your phone. You can also do it either directly via a desktop or laptop, computer. One of the ways that I actually do a few of my videos is actually to record it via Zoom. Now you can just open up a meeting and you can hit record with no one else obviously there with you. You can hit record, and when you finish the meeting you will get both a video file and an audio file. So that's quite a nice way, especially as I say, if you're doing sort of a pre-recorded, quite a professional thing. You can also share your screen in the normal way and it will record it all for you, so if you did want to share slides or anything like that. Now in terms of editing them, there's 2 kinds of ways. So one is YouTube. So when you upload anything to YouTube, there is an inbuilt editor. It's actually very good, and you can easily trim your video. So for example, if you were trying to cut it up into little bits, you just upload the video, trim it down or cut it down, and then upload it again the second time, and you know, and then cut the other bit that you want. So I hope that makes sense. But you know, you can upload the video multiple times and cut it down into the individual sections you want, as well as having the whole video there itself. Remember on YouTube that you can make videos available publicly, but you can also have them what they call unlisted, where they won't show up in kind of your main menu of videos. So if you do want to use them more sort of mainly for your website, for example, and you don't want them for sort of public consumption, you can do that. You can make them also completely private, so they can't be seen by anyone until the time is right, or only people with a specific link, for example. Now the other editing tool that I would recommend is Canva. Canva is incredible. Going from being sort of a basic design tool, it now is really stepping up on video as well. You can add elements like audio, music, you know, to run underneath or to run under certain sections. You can cut your video up, but also then add different little slides or questions or, you know, pictures in between too. It's got lots of options for things like transitions. And personally, I'm sure if any of you's followed my journey, you know how I struggle with reels. So actually, you know, things like that, creating them on Canva first, you can add text, you can add pictures, everything you'd imagine, add stickers, everything you can imagine you could do on Canva, you know, with a picture, you can do with a video, and then download it and use it like that. So I hope that answers your question, Lisbeth. Okay, so I've given you 3 stops. Stop trying to be everywhere, stop focusing on the platform instead of the content, and stop only marketing to new customers. So what am I going to tell you to do? What have you got to start doing? Well, first of all, I want you to start focusing on what you enjoy. Now, I'm going to use enjoy loosely, because unless you're me, you probably don't love doing your marketing. It probably is oh, I've got to do it, Kate. But first of all, we're only going to do the minimum that we need to do. And secondly, we're going to do what we actually find easier, what we find more natural, because that will come across in your content creation. I hear so many people say to me, okay, I have to have a blog, or I have to be doing video all the time, or if you are trying to do those things yourselves and you loathe them, it will probably come across in your marketing. Worse than that, they probably won't even ever get done. They'll just languish on your to-do list because you won't feel motivated to do them. And be really, really respectful of, you know, people today, the consumers of your content and your social media. We are savvy. We see it all the time, from big businesses to individuals to small businesses. We know what we're looking at. So if you can feel that person, that heart just wasn't in it, genuinely it will, you know, start to come across. And as I say, we want to make content marketing simpler. So let's find your niche. What do you really enjoy doing? If you find writing more difficult, you know, can you get over any worries about video? Could you hide behind more slides or PowerPoint if that's how, you know, you preferred, but it would mean that you could just sit down, talk it, and it's done. Like I say, if you actually are quite a creative person, you might really enjoy playing on Canva and things like that. That's fine. Make the time for that and make that really good, and perhaps do a bit less, you know, fewer posts or whatever, but then put in your creative flair. Make those posts a bit bigger. Make them into carousel posts, have multiple posts rather than just one image, because that's what you enjoy doing. So that's what I want you to do, is start looking, going back to that minimum content commitment. What on there, could it be full of things that you love doing? So that's where I want you to start. Stop the musts, stop the thing, especially if you don't know whether one thing is better than the other in your business. If you can't honestly say to me, look, Kate, I hate doing it, but this works, okay, that's different. But if you can go, honestly, I hate doing it, I've got no idea if I've ever got any sales from doing it, I've got no idea whether it engages my audience, well then why not stop and focus on what you do enjoy, and more importantly, start focusing on finding out how well you can do that one thing that you really enjoy and make that difference to your bottom line. My second tip then goes straight, second start then goes really nicely into this. So as I said, you're now going to focus on what you enjoy, and you're going to follow that up, you're going to back that up by focusing on what is effective. Work out a way that you can find this out that's not too difficult. Now, I don't want anyone to get bogged down in analytics. I don't want anyone to feel that that's all they do is data crunching, but start working out which elements of your marketing, which elements of your content is actually effective for you. Sit back, you know, analyze your last couple of months. Where have the customers or clients that you're working with right now, where have they come from? Because so often, a lot of them may well have come from sources that you know, are not focusing on, or you didn't realise, and if you did focus on, could make a huge difference. Classic ones, things like word of mouth, things like networking, and even, as I say, your website, that actually people are finding you through that, and that's how they're getting in touch. So obviously the most important bit for this is actually working out how you find out that information. So start thinking, if you do things like discovery calls, if there's somebody you don't know, or even if there's someone you do know and they finally booked that discovery call, ask them, you know, what made you book that discovery call? Or, as I say, if you don't know them, how did you find me? Start getting that feedback. In terms of numbers or reach or things like that, yes, it's a good idea maybe just to keep a sense of a couple of analytics, but start looking a little bit more actually who, the people behind the likes or the reach. Who is liking your posts? Who is commenting on them? Who is opening your emails? Not just how many people, but who's actually clicking through, because you can then reach out, you can speak to them. If it's consistently clients that you work with and that you use, well, hang on a minute, does that mean that your main audience for your content is your current customers? Could you be upselling them more rather than keep telling them the same thing because they've all bought from you already? So as I say, just really work out for you. So don't get bogged down. It could be just a once a month, a quick little check-in of how you can find out more about which bits of your marketing is more effective. Because weirdly, that also then motivates you and makes you more excited about doing those bits of marketing, because you think, yes. One great example, I had a client said to me about doing a monthly email newsletter, and I said, genuinely, is it worth it? Are your open rates enough, or are you, do you think it's worth paying me to support you to do a monthly email? And she said, do you know what? My open rate might not be amazing, but nearly every time I send out that email, I'll get at least 1 or 2 direct inquiries saying, oh yes, it worked as a prompt. So it really worked for her, and she really believed in it. So we're continuing to do it, and she's continuing to get that direct inquiry and that, that work. And even if, if 50 people opened it and they all inquired, then weirdly, she wouldn't be able to cope with that. But actually that 1 or 2, that little reminder in their inbox that she was still there, that pushed those people to make that inquiry, was really worth it. So as I say, that's particularly qualitative, unless you're keeping a note of who directly replied to you following you sending out that, you're not going to know. So you do need to come up with a little way, simple spreadsheet, a simple note, even on a content calendar, which is something I recommend. I'll tell you a bit more about that later. Find out a way to make it effective. And then my final big announcement or big takeaway for you today. I want you to start planning, preparing, and perfecting. And adopting those 3 steps is how you can make your marketing really simple. It brings together the other 5 things that I've been talking to you today. So start by having a really clear plan. What are you doing? Yes, but importantly, why are you doing it? What are you trying to achieve? Because without knowing that in the first place, particularly say on a month-by-month basis, you don't know. It goes back again. You don't know whether your marketing is effective. You don't know which bits you want to do more of, etc. So making sure you have a really clear plan. Now, I may have talked before about having a monthly topic, which is based on a monthly goal. And I really promote this. And if this is something that you want to learn more about, come and join the Content Club and come along to the planning session, because this is literally how we are going to plan our content for a whole year. And I promise you it will inspire and guide, and as I say, you'll have that plan, you'll have something not only to guide you as to what you're going to create, but also to reflect on and see what was most effective. It also means that when you plan, you have a purpose, and this is what all elements of marketing really need. I'm creating this bit of content, why am I doing it? What do I want it to do for me? And also, if it does that for you, fabulous, you can go back and reuse it again at some point. So we've done our planning. So because we've got a plan in place, we can start getting ahead. Again, we're making life simpler. We're going to prepare our content in advance if we can, or when we can. Now, this is not to say that suddenly you've got to find a magical, month that doesn't exist where you go out and you write all your content, or you write all your blogs, or you create all your videos. No. What I mean by preparing is looking at your plan, saying these are the areas, or this is the type of content that I want to create. I'm going to go away and have a look and see if I've got any of this already. What have I done already? What social media captions have I written already around this topic? What videos have I done in the past? What blogs have I written? Which pages on my website already lend themselves to this? What have I sent out via email? Even a personal, direct email to a customer that actually covers this. What can I reuse? Because once you've got that plan, it's so much easier to find old bits of content that you can both reuse and repurpose. It also means that you can batch prepare stuff. So you can look down your plan and go, well, in the next few months, I know that I need, I want to really get better at sharing testimonials. So I'm going to make sure in my preparation stage that I've got some great testimonial templates that I can upload all my testimonials into one place, and I can assign which testimonials are going to go out in which month because they relate to the topics or the areas, the purpose I'm trying to achieve. So it really means that you can gather stuff together, and then you've hopefully just got only a few holes that you need to fill with new stuff. And as I say, you can find the time to do that in advance because you know by when, according to your plan, that it needs to be done. And secondly, it gives you the time, if you need it, to outsource, to look at your budget and go, do you know what, I really, really want to produce X number of videos or X number of blogs or a lead magnet in time for this topic because it's really important. I haven't got the time to do it, but I've got the time to budget and to figure out who I'm going to use and to outsource. So really preparing, using that plan to help you prepare. And so when the time comes, it's all ready, scheduled and done, and we feel super calm and cool and collected. And then the third step, we've planned, we've prepared, and now we're going to perfect. And this brings me back to what I've been talking about making sure you know which bits of content are working hard for you. It also ties back into knowing what you've produced, so keeping a really clear list or a spreadsheet of what you've produced already and going, do you know what, that didn't work as well as I hoped, but I know why. It's because I forgot to include a call to action, or I can see that now actually when people were asking questions about that bit of content, I realised that I should have said this and not this. So then you can start to go, well, hang on a minute, when I cover this topic again next time, or when I could use this content for an upcoming month of content, I'm going to slightly change it, I'm going to update it. Equally, for stuff that you know is working really well, you go, do you know what, bam, I'm going to reuse that next time I cover this topic or when it's relevant the next time. Tick, tick, tick. That's the bit I need to reuse because it really hit home. So we are perfecting, we're measuring what's working, we're working out what can be reused, and in truth, we might even be dumping stuff that didn't, or dumping even platforms that aren't working for us, whatever it might be. So we're perfecting our content, we're looking at that minimum content commitment, we're asking ourselves, are we managing to do everything we wanted to do, potentially and more, and is it working for us? I've thrown a lot of information out there today, but I really wanted to, do what it said on the tin, which was to make your marketing simpler and to help you. Now, there's a lot of, you can do this, and there's a, plan here and prepare there. Come and join me in the Content Club if you want the support to do that. If you don't know much about the Content Club, I'm delighted to have some Content Clubbers here with me. But just to say, it's an online membership for £20 a month. We have a monthly topic, as discussed with planning your content. We also follow a topic so that you don't feel overwhelmed. You can just do and improve a little bit of your content creation and a little bit of your digital marketing every month. I invite guest experts in to talk to us, to really introduce us to all the different marketing tactics that we can use, so that you've got, instead of scrolling through Google for hours, you've got somewhere that you can go and get that simple introduction and have a real life person that you can book a call with or get in touch with to ask any questions or issues you've got. Thank you for someone saying about the club's great. That's wonderful. So please come along. We also do a monthly content clinic. So it means that you've always got someone, me, and somewhere that you can come along and ask any questions. And in December, on Monday, the 12th of December, from 10 till 11, we are having a co-working planning session. I will be giving out templates so that you have something to follow, and we'll be making sure that we get that 2023 monthly plan done, and we start to look at what kind of content and assets we need to bring together for the first quarter. So I'd love to have you there. I will put all of the information in the comments below. It's simple, you can register online, and also just to say you can pause or cancel your subscription at any time. I know what life is like, so I like to have that flexibility. Equally, I really push that underneath you want to have a really strategic method of doing your content marketing. So whilst I love the planning, as I've said, we want to know about the why, we want to know about the purpose, we want to know about the goals that we're trying to achieve. So if you don't have any form of marketing or content strategy, then please join me on Tuesday the 31st of January. It is at Worting House in Basingstoke, so I appreciate that's not ideal for people who maybe aren't local, but it's £139 at Worting House. It's an all-day 10 till 3 event, and again I will teach you loads about sort of the underpinning theory of marketing, and then also we'll start to ensure that you have a really strong strategic approach, a strong content strategy, and an overall plan that helps you to plan a kind of a macro plan so that you can then plan on a more micro level. Thank you so much. I can see the comments coming in. I'm dead on my half an hour. I'm really pleased. So as I say, I wanted to share content with you, but also, not to keep you for too long. Thank you for the comments. Thank you, Louise. That's lovely. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Review your keywords, absolutely. We love a bit of website updating and content writing to really capture those specific searches. And thank you, Elisabetta. Yeah, she has been she's been a member now for over a year, and she's been absolutely wonderful support to me. But yes, please do speak to you. Elisabetta, Claire was on the call. Hi, Sashi, thank you for being here too. Dawn, Sashi, I know you're joining us for the month in December, so come along. Please, do ask any more questions. Oh, thanks, Faye. Brilliant. I'm glad that you've really enjoyed it. As I said, if you think of anything afterwards, please reach out to me. If you've got any questions about the Content Club or the Content Strategy Day, please give me a shout as well. And I think I'll leave it there for now. But as I say, if there's any questions that you pop in the comments or you're watching this on replay, I will get back to you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much.